Hey everybody, it's Christine at Zeidman Development, and today I'd like to walk you through the contact history activity type in the EveryAction data source of Importacular. So we do have videos covering all the different activity types. I've also got a video that shows how to select your activity type and all of the details connected to that. So that said, we are going to skip past those things and we're just going to look at the information available in the contact history activity type. And just as a disclosure, I am going to show you this information mapped to an action as well as to a solicitor. While you may not want to use those areas as there are additional paid options that are not included in the base package of EveryAction, for me, those were the areas where I would want this data to go in the Razor's Edge, so that's how I want to showcase it. So if you want to put this data somewhere else, you do have access to this data. You have access to everything coming out of EveryAction in the integration with the base package. What would be optional is adding things like being able to add this information to an action or being able to add this information to a solicitor. So in the base package, you could add it somewhere else, such as a constituent note or a constituent attribute maybe, but you can't add it to those areas without paying for those areas. So all of that said, let's take a look at our action and go from there. So just like our other areas of mapping, which if you've already watched those videos, you have seen this, we always have to put something in to satisfy our required fields. Our Razor's Edge fields tell us where the data is going to go in Razor's Edge, and then we can choose a source field that populates, in this case, out of EveryAction, or we can choose a default value. So what you're looking at here for the action date is that I am going to populate the action date with the date canvassed from EveryAction. If you come down a little further, you can see that my priority is a default value of normal. My category, or my completed is a default value of being checked, things like that. So it's a combination here of working with data coming directly out of EveryAction and data that I'm just assigning to all of these records. Something else that I do want to show you is that my contact types from EveryAction don't directly line up with my Razor's Edge categories, but they're similar. So what I've done is created a data transformation so that if there's the word phone, I can make it a phone call. If there's the word email, I can make it an email. This way I can take the data from EveryAction and make it match what we have in Razor's Edge. And then at the bottom, I just have a catch-all that says anything that doesn't match the others is going to become a task or an other. For my types, I've done something similar. I'm still working with that same field of contact type, but here I'm using it to say if it has the word peer, if it's a peer-to-peer, I want it to be a special event. If it's a bulk, I want it to be a solicitation. So I'm using the same field, but I'm transforming the data a bit differently so that I can track what I need to track. So that said, you could always have more information on here than I do, but this is what I have and what I've needed for this mapping. The other thing that I have done is I have added mapping for the solicitor using that canvassed by. So one of the things that's covered in depth in one of our other videos is that the only information we have available to us about who created the action is the canvas by, which is an ID number. So what I have done, and I've documented this elsewhere, is I'm working with that ID number in order to do a map between the EveryAction ID and the Razor's Edge constituent ID so that we can map those records to a Razor's Edge record so that I can actually create a solicitor to show who made the contact. So those are just a couple examples of things that you can do. I'm going to go ahead and reopen this mapping so I can show you the full list of information. So these are all things that you can work with. We have the option to add results. We have the option to add an input type. So if you're using these things and you want to add them from your contact, you absolutely can do that. Those are all available. That's the kind of data that you can work with. So I hope that this video has been helpful for you in getting an idea of what contact history data you can work with and how you might be able to map it into the Razor's Edge. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to our team and we'll be very happy to help you get started with EveryAction and integrating it with the Razor's Edge. Thank you so much and have a great day.